Hello and welcome to this lab video on operating systems. In this video, we are going to have a review of the files and directories. That is how we can browse through the directories and files, how we can create and remove directories and files. And then we will have a look at the access modes and permissions that we can apply on those files and directories. So we will first need to log into our Linux machine. So I am already logged into my Linux machine. I'm using VMware for this. So it says in the home directory, create a new directory called week13. So you can open up the terminal and go to your home directory, or you can also use this Windows method, that is going through the folder. So you will open the directory and go to home, and inside in here you can open your terminal, right click and click open in terminal. So this is going to open the terminal in the home directory, and to verify that you are in the home directory you can write pwd. So I'm in my home and slash dev profile, and then in here I have to create a directory called week13. So to create a directory you will use the mkdir command for make directory, and the name of the directory is week13. To verify that you will enter ls, right? So you will see that I have this directory here called week13, and then it says inside the week13 directory create a new file called hobbies, in which you can enter at least 3 of your hobbies. So I will go inside the week13 directory using the cd command. So cd week13, and now we are inside the week13 folder or directory, and then in here I will create a file using the nano command. You can use cat or vim. So nano hobbies, and you can write in 3 hobbies, maybe eating, sleeping and programming. And then to save you will press Ctrl O. File name to write is hobbies, press enter, and then to exit you will write Ctrl X. To view the contents of the file you will use the cat command, cat hobbies, and inside we can see there are 3 things listed. Then create a subdirectory called backup in the week13 directory. So create another directory called backup, and then edit the hobbies file by adding 2 more hobbies and save changes to this file. So to edit we can again use nano followed by the file name, which is hobbies. So in here you will add 2 more hobbies, watching movies and maybe singing. Then again Ctrl O to save, enter, and then Ctrl X to exit. Let's verify whether we have the right things inside the file, cat hobbies, and we have 2 more things over here. Then copy the hobbies file to the backup subdirectory using the cp command. So cp, and then the name of the file that you want to copy. So I want to copy the hobbies file, and then where do you want to copy? Inside the backup directory. Enter, and let's verify whether we have the hobbies file inside the backup directory. So ls will give the contents of the week13 directory. So we have backup folder and hobbies file. To view the contents of backup, you can either go inside the backup directory and issue ls, or we can do it from here. So ls and backup, this will give the contents of the backup directory. So we have the hobbies file inside the backup directory as well. Then list the contents of the week13 directory using the ls-il command for a detailed list. So ls-il, so you will notice that we have one file called hobbies that we had inside the week13 directory, and the other one is the backup directory, which is this one. And then we have 2 more items over here. One of these is double dot, so that double dot refers to the parent directory. So the parent directory of this week13 directory is the home directory, and this dot indicates the current directory, which is the week13 directory. Now you will also notice that along with this we have some characters or letters in front of each of these items, and that takes us to the second part of the lab, which is on access mode. So every file and directory on the Linux system is assigned 3 types of owners, and these are the owner, the group, and the others. So when a user creates a folder or file, that user by default becomes the owner, and then later you can also transfer the ownership to some other user. Then for the groups, so a group can contain multiple users, and all the users belonging to a group will have the same permission access to the file. For example, let's say you have a project where a number of people require some access to a file. So instead of manually assigning permissions to each user, what you could do is add all those users to a group and then assign the group permission to the files so that only these group members can access the file. Then the third one is the others, and this can be anyone else apart from the owner and who is not part of any of these groups, and generally we refer to that as public. So something very similar to this is displayed in our terminal. The last part in this structure or this line is the name of the file or the directory. But how do we know whether this is a file or a directory? And that is by looking at the very first character in the string. So a dash means that that particular item is a file. If there is a D over there, then that means that is a directory. And if it is a L, then that means it is a symbolic link. Symbolic link is very similar to a shortcut in Windows. So in our terminal, we have a D in front of this dot, double dot, and breakup. So that means these three items are directories. And for the last item, we have a dash. That means that is a file. Then the remaining characters over here in the first part, that indicates the permission that we have on that particular item. So we'll come to permissions in a while. Then C indicates the owner of the file. So whichever person is the owner, their username is written over here. D, so that indicates the group that can access the file. Then the next one is a number that indicates the size of that particular file or folder in bytes. So in our case, the size of the hobbies file is 53 bytes. Size of backup folder is 4096 bytes. And then we have some date and time, and this indicates when the file was last modified. And lastly, we have the file name. So for this permission part, how do we actually assign the permissions, and how do we decide which letters or characters to write? Now this string over here is divided in three parts according to the owner, the group, and the others, and they are grouped in sets of three. So the first three letters, that refers to the permission that the owner has on this particular file or folder. The next set of three letters, that indicates the permission that the group has, and the last three letters indicates the permission that the other users have. So they are grouped in sets of three. So this R refers to a read permission, W refers to a write permission, and X refers to a executable permission. So if you have given a read permission to a particular user, then this permission will give the authority to open a file and read it. And if you give a read permission on a directory, then the user will be able to list the contents of the directory. For the write permission, the write permission gives you the authority to modify the contents if it is a file, and the write permission on a directory gives you the authority to add, remove, and rename files that is stored in that particular directory. And then for X, that is the executable. So let's say you have a C++ code in one of the directories, and if you want to run that file, then you need to have the executable permission on that particular file. So if you want to give a particular user the executable permission, then you will have to specify that with a X. Now in each of these groups, that is the owner, group, and the others, the first letter will be R, the second letter will be W, and the third letter will be X. So if you want to give a read permission, you will write R, W for write, and X for executable. So how do we actually assign the permissions? And you will do that using this change mode command. So there will be two parameters in here. The first one is the command change mode. The second one is the permission that you want to assign to the particular user on a file or directory. And then the third one is the file on which you want to assign the permission. And these permissions can be read, write, or execute, and they can be assigned to the owner, group, or the others. Now there are two ways of assigning the permissions. One is the string mode and the other one is the octal numbers. So in the string mode, this is the syntax. So you will write the change mode command, then you will write the user category, and these user categories are the owner, group, and who. So U refers to the user or the owner, G refers to the group, and O refers to the others. And if you want to assign a permission to all of those, then you will write I. Then the second part is the operator. So for the operators, we have plus, minus, and equals. So for example, if you want to assign a read permission to a group, then you will write G equals R, because G refers to group and R will give the read permission. Then if you want to add a permission, you will do that using the plus symbol. So if you want to give a write permission to a group, you will write G plus W. So that is going to give the write permission to a group. And minus is for removing the permission. So we have some examples over here. So it says G plus W. That means we are giving or adding the write permission to a group on the file called file.txt. So this will add a write access to the group. The second one, change mode O minus R plus W. So what this will do is remove the read access, right? Because minus is for removing the permission and R is for read. So minus R will remove the read permission from O, which is the others, and then it will add the write permission. Then change mode G plus X, comma O plus RW. So this will add a executable permission to the group, as well as it is going to give or add the write and read permission to the other users. Then G equals R, so this will give the read access to the group and then add the write access to the others on the file.txt. So the first method was using the string mode. The second method is the octal numbers. So you can have a read through this, but in summary, the command is same. So you will write change mode, and then at the end is the file name, and in between is the permission in numbers. So in this one, we had command, and at the end we had the file name, and in between we had the permission using these strings. So now in the other method, we are going to replace this part with the numbers. And what these numbers mean is there will be three parts or three numbers. The first number refers to the permission that the owner has. The second number refers to the permission that the group has. And the third number indicates the permission that the other users have. So how do we decide these numbers? So if you want to assign this permission to a particular file, then you will write three numbers. The first number will be for the owner, the second number will be for the group, and the third number will be for the other users. Now, how do you determine the number? So you have a R over here in the first group. So you will write a 1, then we have a W, you will again write 1, and then we have a X, so you will again write 1. So if there's a letter over here, you will indicate that with a 1, and if there's a dash, you will write 0. Then the second one is R dash X. So again we have R, so we will write a 1. Then we have a dash, so you will write a 0, and then you will have X again, so you will write 1. Then for the third group, we have a R, so you will write 1, then a dash, you will write 0, and then X, you will write 1. So if there's a letter, you will write 1. If there's a dash, you will write 0. And then you will convert each of these numbers to decimal. So these numbers are in binary. So 111 in decimal would be 7. Then 101 in decimal would be 5. And 101 again will be 5. And that is our permission number. Right, so in this example, we have 775. So 7 means we have all the three permissions for the owner, right? So for the owner access, we have 7. In binary, that is 111. So 1 is for read, then the second one is for write, and the third one is for execute. So the owner has the full access. Then the second number is 7, and that is for the group. So the group again has full access, read, write, and execute. And the third number is for other users, and that is a 5. So that means 5 in binary is 101. So this particular group has the read permission. It does not have the write permission, and it does have the execute permission. So that is 101. Quick question: what access modes are represented by the number 761? Okay, so let's try this. So we have 761, and if we convert these numbers into binary, so 7 in binary is 111. Then 6 in binary is 110, and 1 in binary is 001. So we have a 1 for the owner, so that is R. Then we have 1 again, so that is W, and we have 1 again, so that is X. Then we have 110, so we have read, write, and no execute, so that is a dash. And then the last one 001, so dash dash and X. So this is the permission that is represented by 761. Then we have some exercises. So it says list the contents of week 13 directory again and note the default access modes. So ls-il. Okay, so in here we have the backup folder and we have hobbies file. So for the backup directory, we know that is a directory because there is a D written over there in front. Then we have RWX. So this particular directory has full permissions for the owner. Then we have RWX for the group. That means if there's any groups, then they also have the full permission. And then for the other users, we have R-X. That means the other groups have, or the other users have the read permission. They don't have the write permission, and they have the execute permission. So what that means is the owner of this backup folder can do anything inside the folder. The group can also do everything, but the other users can only read and execute. They cannot create or delete any files inside the this folder. Go into the week 13 directory. So we are already inside the week 13 directory. Then says change access modes for the hobbies file using the string mode method so that the owner has full access, that is RWX, while the group can read and write only, and the others can only read the file. So you will write change mode and then U equals, so U is for the owner. So the owner has the full access, that is RWX. So U equals RWX. Then for the group, it says the group can read and write only. So the group does not have the execute permission. So for the group, we will give the read and write permission. And then for the other users, they can only read the file. So for others, they have the read permission only. And which file are we assigning the permission on? That is on the hobbies file. So along with this, we will write the name of the file, enter. Okay. Then it says list the contents of week 13 directory again and note the changes in access modes. So right now for the hobbies file, we had these particular permissions. And now when we do a ls-il again, you will notice that there are some changes. So initially we had read write, but no execute, but now we have read write and execute for the owner. Then we have read and write for the group, and for the others we have read but no write and execute. So for the others and the group, the permission has remained the same, but for the owner, the permission has changed from RW to RWX. Then it says to change the access mode of the hobbies file using any method such that you can only read this file. So since we have tried the string method in number 5, let's try the octal method. So since we only want to give the read access to this file, let's assume that we are giving read access to all the 3 groups, that is the owner, group, and the others. So again, so the permission will look something like this. Read, then no write and execute for the owner. Then for the group, there's read but no write and execute. Then for the third one, that is the others, there is a read but no write and execute. And when we convert this into binary, we get 1 0 0 1 0 0 and 1 0 0, and then converted to decimal. So 1 0 0 in decimal is 4, again 1 0 0 4 and 4 again. So the permission is 444. So to change the permission, you will write change mode. The permission is 444 on the hobbies file. Enter and do a ls-al. So you will notice that the permission has changed again. So before it was rwx, rw and r. Now it is only r. So the owner has only read access, the group has read access, and the others have read access as well. Now, since the owner has only the read access, that means the owner should not be able to edit this file. And since I have created this file, then I'm the owner. So let's see if I can edit this file. So nano hobbies. Okay, at the bottom you will see that it says file hobbies is unwritable. So if I try to delete something, you will see that after deleting, when I try to save this using Control O, it says that we have an error writing to hobbies and permission is denied. That means we cannot edit this file because I only have the edit permission. So I will exit out. Then it says change access modes of the hobbies file again using any method such that you can no longer read this file. So let's change the permission again so that we cannot read this file. So you will remove all the access dash dash dash. So this will be all zeros. So change mode, and this time we have all zeros. Enter ls-al. So now all the permissions are removed from this particular file. And if I try to show the contents of the hobbies file, it says that the permission is denied. Okay, so we cannot open the file anymore. You may change the access modes of hobbies file to the default access modes. Did you note the default modes in step 1? Okay, we did not note, but we have the history over here in my terminal, and the default mode was this one. So let's change it back. So that is rw dash, then again rw dash and r dash dash. So 110, then 110 and 100. So in decimal that would be 6, 6 and 4. So let's change it back to 664. Enter, and let's do ls-al again. So now we have the same permission as we had before over here. Then part C says deleting files and directories. It says try deleting the backup subdirectory in week 13 directory without deleting the file within it yet. So at the moment I am inside the week 13 directory. So to delete that, you will need to go one step up, do a ls, and inside my home directory I have the week 13 directory. So to remove the directory without deleting anything inside the directory, let's see if we can delete it. So rm week 13, it says cannot remove week 13 because it is a directory. So to delete a directory, you will first need to delete everything that is inside the directory. So how can you delete directories and its content in Linux? So one method is to go inside the directory and delete everything. So that might take some time. The other method is to forcefully delete it, and that is using the rm-rf command. So this f in here means that you are forcefully deleting the directory, and this r means you are doing it recursively. That means for every directory inside the directory, you forcefully remove it. So rm-rf, and then along with that you will write the name of the directory, which is week 13. Enter and do a ls. So now you will see that the directory is gone. So that is all for this video. Now try to complete all of the activities in here. Try to go over this PDF once again. Complete these exercises and you will write all the commands in a file and submit in the Dropbox. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.